Today we're going to be talking about the Joyo American Sound pedal. But first, coffee. Love my coffee. This is what it looked like when I took it out of the box. The chapters in today's video are I can't get no satisfaction. We're going to look at the manufacturer's claims. What it's like. We're going to go over the pedal specification. Sounds like falling rain. We're going to take a look at some sound samples from the pedal and do the twisty knob thing to get a range of tones. Listen for the playback. How's it sound in a mix? Don't go away, man. My final thoughts. And now for the manufacturer's claim. The first claim has a drive circuit that emulates the tubes and speakers of early Fender amps. We'll check that in the sound sample section. Built-in speaker emulation. Well, here's how it sounds plugged directly into my interface with no post-processing. In case you're curious, every other sound sample in this video has some post-processing on it, because that didn't sound like a speaker emulation to me. It's a DI! No, it's not! First of all, a DI splits the signal so that you can go direct into your board as well as into an amp. Secondly, it takes a high impedance signal and turns it into a low impedance signal suitable for going direct into the board. And this pedal does neither of those. Don't lie to people, Joyo. Just don't do it. Used as a clean boost with more compression and fatness than is usually found in a pedal. I've actually heard similar from lots of pedals, but I do like what this pedal offers in this area. How about those specifications? It has a 3-band EQ, low, mid, and high. It has a level knob that's more like a volume knob. Its range is far too wide to simply be calling it a level. Level tends to be a matching thing, whereas volume tends to be volume. Got a voice knob. To me, this sounds like it's simulating the preamp tube drive you can get. It's also got a drive knob, which seems to be simulating the power amp and speaker drive you can get from a tube amp. It has an on-off foot switch, which, is good, because if it didn't, it wouldn't be a pedal. It has 2 1/4-inch jacks on it, one for input, one for output. There is no stereo option available. It can get its power either from a 9-volt battery or from a power supply. Let's hear some sound sample. level control is super responsive. It peaked the crap out of my interface. I even had to put a limiter on that part of the video. More appropriate to call it a volume control than a level. The low control boosts the signal from 0 HD all the way to 6.5 HD. Here, look at this graphic. You can see in the overlay I have the sound curves for it all the way down and all the way up. And you can see where they start to match up again all the way at the end. It looks like it's probably about a 5 dB cut and boost, with the original signal being unchanged when it's at 12 o'clock. Centered right around 100 Hz, but it's got a super wide Q on it. It can really mud up the tone when you crank it because of boosting all that low end way up. And honestly, if you're using it in a recording situation, probably the first thing you're going to do is high pass it at about 150 HD anyway. Mid knob gives the most change between 50 Hz and 3 kilohertz. Seems to be about a 5 dB booster cut, centered right around 500 Hz. Really, it's exactly what I would expect from a mid control, except I might expect a little tighter Q than that. High knob. This one just boosts the whole signal. It's almost like they just made it a volume knob pretty much. Like here's the graphic. I can't even really tell where it's boosting. It's boosting the whole thing. If I had to make a guess, I'd say it's probably centered around 3K with about a 5 dB boost cut. Voice knob is really just another drive knob. It adds a different flavor of overdrive than the drive knob. The drive knob does exactly what you'd expect from a drive. How's it sound in the mix? Let's hear 4 guitars all reamped through this pedal. Now, as for my signal chain on this, once it hits my DAW, I am running a speaker emulator on it. I am running a little bit of tremolo and a little bit of spring reverb, and I felt comfortable doing that because the original Fender amps came with tremolo and reverb circuits in them. pedal with more volume or harder picking doesn't cause the signal to break up anymore like it would in a real tube amp. If you're going to simulate a tube amp, you have to simulate that. It is one of the major defining characteristics of a tube amp is the way it breaks up when you push it. Also, as I already mentioned, I had to add reverb and tremolo in post because the pedal doesn't add them. If you're simulating an amplifier, you need to simulate the whole amplifier. If you're not simulating everything that amplifier does, you're not simulating that amplifier. And what are my final thoughts? It's not an amp sim. It simply is not. It does not simulate an amplifier. However, it is an awesome drive pedal. I love the tones you can get out of it. You could replace just about any overdrive on the market with this pedal and be perfectly content with it. It doesn't do Klon type overdrive very well, so if you like that type of overdrive, probably stay away from it. But for every other type of overdrive, this thing just rocks. It's an amazing overdrive pedal. But if you buy it expecting it to replace your amplifier, I fear that you're going to be left wanting. You should look somewhere else for an amp sim. But it is a great drive pedal and it is definitely worth the $40 and it's staying on my board. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring my bell, baby. And until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and God bless. Have a great time, everybody.